Hello. I'm so glad that you're all joining us today for this UCaaS-focused Why Windstream webinar. This session is being recorded and everyone is muted, but feel free to unmute yourself to ask a question at any time. But with that, I'm going to kick it over to your guides for today. We have Tony Bender, Director of Strategic Solutions at Windstream, and Atif Kadir, Manager of UCaaS Solutions. Take it away, guys.
I'm off mute. There we go. Hi, Mary. Thank you for the wonderful introductions, and thank you for all of you for taking the time to join us today. For those of you that joined us on the last session we had an opportunity to run through the richness of our SD-WAN portfolio. If you didn't have a chance to join that, please reach out to your channel manager or CAI rep, and they can get the recording from Mary if you'd like to go back and re-review that. Today, we're going to spend some time talking about Windstream and really the unique competitive differentiators of our UCaaS portfolio. And certainly I use the word portfolio because of the richness of what we offer in that space. And we'll kind of talk about that as we go through this. Initially, we're talking just some of the highlights about us, why Windstream as a leader. I mean, we are certainly a leader in the UCaaS space. We've got 20 plus years experience in both what we'll say UCaaS as well as CCaaS, really the difference between unified communications and also call center environments. We've got over 20 years in that space. Certainly a pioneer in designing and deployment, over 7 years specifically in that space. Ranked in the top 10 UCaaS providers in the US. We've got over 550,000 seats under contract today. And again, we'll talk as we go through this, just the richness in what we offer from all of the different evolution of that. We've got 30,000 technicians to support installation and on-site maintenance. As we talk about some of our own products like Office Suite, as well as we talk in some of the other spaces, we've done a lot of development and coding on our own for that as well. And then again, for folks that joined us in SD-WAN in the past, certainly a uniqueness in our space by both being a network provider and the richness of what we offer in UCaaS. 2019 Gartner Magic Quadrant participant for Unified Communications as a Service. And then as we go through this, we've got numerous awards that we've received on many of our different platforms. Very high level. We really have we sort of have 4 flavors. I would almost at times call it 5 flavors, and you could almost even argue 6, probably, Atif, I would say. But as we look through it, really quite honestly, it's really about designing a solution that best fits our customers. You know, we have our own branded Office Suite UCaaS, ideal for small to medium-sized businesses, anywhere from 1 to 250,000. We've got a richness of features integrated into that platform, and we'll talk about that as we go forward into it. We also have UCaaS powered by Avaya on the IP Office side. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's really ideal for that small to mid-sized customers from 20 to 3,000 users. And there's an awful lot of customers on that platform today that are looking for ways to migrate because not really sure what the future beholds on that platform long term. We have UCaaS powered by Mitel. Again, somewhere scales around the 250 users to 5,000 users. And certainly the uniqueness in that space is we certainly have our enterprise offering, but then we also, and again, we'll talk more about that, but we have the only cloud-powered hospitality offering in that space to date. And then last but not least, our sort of powerhouse in our top line is UCaaS powered by Vaya Aurora. Certainly 500,000 to 20,000 plus users, omni-channel contact center, and our richness in that Avaya space. So we're going to kind of start and we'll go through Office Suite. At the end of each of these sections, I'll pause for a minute for questions. And then we'll leave certainly time at the end for questions as well. So Office Suite is, as I said earlier, it is our core product set. It It is built by us. It's our application. It's our product. It's our development. It's our code. It's not a resale of another platform or anything else. But it really has a very rich set of features that allow both collaboration and communications for, again, that sort of mid-sized enterprise. It is a fully cloud-based system. We have a native contact center application that runs within it. Can support chat, audio, video conferencing, web collaboration tools, online faxing, presence and availability. And then quite honestly, we have a large number of integrations that are API off the shelf. Atif, anything to add on that one?
No, sir. I think that the key point for us to deliver is the fact that this is our own product. So it truly gives us a breadth of capabilities to expand on, right? We are able to customize this within a reasonable business, within a reasonable use case to meet a requirement, SMS or any of those components that may be critical to a business to beyond the core offering.
Yes, sir. As you said, again, the integrations, API, third party. I mean, this is just a smattering of what's available on the platform for, that standard API integration to third party applications to function within it. Again, we offer a lot of different seat options and features, functionalities, pricing based upon those seat and those options. I think the one thing that I would arguably say is, compared to our competitors in this space, we do an awful lot of business in the retail space. And when you get into like this basic seat functionality that you need to function and operate, I don't think there's anyone in the industry that can beat us from a pricing perspective as we function in that space. And then certainly we can build it out going forward from that perspective. Within it, we have, again, dashboards, reporting, call recording. We've got contact center and, a contact center functionality, web chat functionality that is, from a pricing perspective, very, very affordable, very, very key in that particular space. Atif, anything to add on that one?
It's an excellent out of the box call center. And Tony, I think you mentioned it, but we have IVR capabilities on that call center too. So it really, to your point, fits very well where an environment is starting off to a call center and they need to be price conscious, yet they want to be competitive in the market.
Yep. And we even see a lot of it in companies that maybe don't live in an active call center for customers, but they're looking for help desk and they're looking for things like that need to function within their enterprise. And so we see a lot of use on that from, the IVR and the call routing perspective, from that perspective as well. We offer a couple different flavors of phones. So we build the product can be built with the Mitel 6900 series IP phones. Very scalable offering, allows different modules based upon different needs and different uses. So we certainly support the Mitel platform as well. We have the Polycom IP phones. They're also they're also part of the offering. So really it's about the design and the needs of the customer and what fits them best. We also have our own brand Verge phones. The one thing that we've seen a lot of activity on our channel partners in that particular space, because there's some, and again, work with your channel managers and your CI reps, but there are some pretty big promos and there are some pretty good cost enablers of that if we get out far enough in term, those phones can actually be deployed to a customer for virtually no capital outlay. So that's been sort of a really, really big one with many of the folks that we're engaged with and deal with. And then I think one of the sort of uniqueness as we get into a lot of our a lot of manufacturing, a lot of retail in larger square footage environments. The ingenious Duophone has been one of our top, really one of our top sellers in many of those different locations. I mean, this is a single cordless handset environment that basically has range, again, you can see it on here, but has range from around, it's got range across 12 floors, can cover over 2,500 square feet or 3,000 acres, depending upon, facility size and et cetera. But it really does allow a lot of the feature functionality that people are looking for from a mobility perspective around larger scale operational settings. And Atif, I know you've had quite a bit of success in that particular space with this product.
Absolutely, we've got use cases, but to your point, Tony, where requirements are for retail in a warehouse environment, this is truly a product that delivers quality as well as scalability from coverage, which is a big ask from our customers with regards to cordless phones and deck phones.
Absolutely. A couple last points. Again, one of the great keys around the Office Suite is, for those of you that are familiar with our WePortal and our ability, you've got maybe an SD-WAN customer that's managing that. Office Suite integrates directly in. It's a widget-based layout. People can look at what it is they'd like to see, what feature functionality. They can turn on customers. They can turn off customers. Individual folks can have full access to their environment to make changes, tweaks, et cetera, to that. So again, just one more as we talk about the software that's really defining Windstream and how we move forward. Office Suite is integrated directly into that. Again, just sort of to recap on this, our code, direct line to R&D, very aggressive pricing for over 50 users and 3+ years on our basic seat. The Verge phone promo is absolutely a key. We can enable professional services if there's additional work, additional core functionality that needs to be done. But it is literally built on our backbone, our core infrastructure, and it has a very richness for that, again, that mid-sized customer. I'll pause there. Any questions on Office Suite? All right. Again, why Mitel and what we do with Mitel? Windstream was awarded Mitel Partner of the Year. We've been a partner with them for over 15 years and have over 7+ years in actually deploying UCaaS on them. Over 70% of our deployments in the Mitel space have contact center attached to them. We have been the highest revenue generating service provider nationwide. We sell over 80,000 Mitel devices annually. We maintain the largest Mitel CCaaS base today. And we are one of the top hospitality partners and the only partner delivering hospitality in a cloud solution at this point. So as we look at this, as we look at the different pieces, we live in the my voice. Whoops, sorry. Whoops, I went the wrong way. As we look at the richness of what's available in the suite from that perspective, we certainly, again, have the enterprise voice, the hospitality. We have the ability to bolt on inline voicemail, iCharge call accounting, PMS integration, as we look at how the hospitality side functions with guest applications and guest services within hotels and hotel properties. We have the My Cloud Contact Center. We've got the My Voice Cloud Recording if we're looking into the contact center and the customer care add-ons. And then if we really want to jump in and we're integrating and we're working with customers and we're building out the collaboration environment, we've got the MyCollab client. We've certainly got Single Reach and My Team that all are functions within this that we can build out depending upon customers' needs and requirements. Oops, I've jumped again, one too many.
Hey, I don't know if this is a good stopping point, but we have a question in chat.
Sure.
It says, did you become a Mitel reseller?
I wouldn't say we became, over the years, in that 20-year span, we acquired a specific company that was at the time a Mitel reseller. We still have a certain segment of our customer base that we support today that is active on-prem based solutions, but we are actively migrating that base to cloud, and everything we do is really cloud-based going forward. T, if you want to add to that, I mean, that really is through acquisition that we brought that line in, but we've continued to richen it on the cloud side.
Tony, you're absolutely on point. The two things that I would add is Windstream's ability to be flexible in the market comes from our DNA of being a premise-based company and then evolving into a cloud-enabled enterprise, right? And then the other key component to remember here is that Windstream has had a front row seat with R&D when we bring this cloud offering to the market. So this isn't just take the environment and virtualize it. This is Windstream's ability to develop this offer in the way we feel that it scales within the enterprise market. Just those quick comments.
Yep. And I won't hit all of the things on here. I mean, again, ability to amortize phones, gateways, PoE switching, labor, all of that into a deal. What we really do is we help companies create an operational model versus having to spend heavy cash to move forward in these environments. And then I think one of the things that's important to note, both here, and we'll also talk about it in the Avaya, and it really plays into the whole suite, but we have some very, very large contact center environments, even contact centers, like I would say contact centers as a service or business process outsourcers that operate on our platform today because of the inherent benefit it gives them in their business model, which is the ability to scale up and down in their client's environment based upon their contractual agreements. It's also the same for any of our customers that, use a contact center with us today. When you go out and you want, 300 agents in a call center and you're looking prem-based, you're buying all of the equipment, all of the licensing, everything for 300 agents, and you're paying 300 agents. If you need to get to 500, you're paying to do all of that again to get to 500. We run a scalable model that allows you to scale up or scale down based upon business needs at any given time and only pay for the licensing you're actually using. So I think that's really worth pointing out. And then again, why one of the real popular pieces for us is we create migration strategies for companies who are on platforms today. So a customer that's living in Mitel and knows that they need to go through an upgrade model, but let's say their handsets are still usable in this environment. We'll work with that, we'll evaluate, we'll determine if that's an option. And rather than having to invest in a piece of iron that quite literally will be a boat anchor somewhere down the road, they can invest on a monthly basis in a cloud architecture environment that's scalable. Certainly want to hit Avaya as well. Just Avaya in general, and I think everybody kind of knows this, right? I mean, Avaya is number one as an entity in contact centers installed, and they're number two in unified communication seats installed at 5 million and 139 million respectively. And Avaya today, supports 90+% of Fortune 500 companies in their own environment. And again, that's important as we think about how companies are operating today and looking for how they engage in the future. As I said earlier, we offer two different sort of flavors. We offer the Avaya IP Office Cloud, scales to roughly 3,000 users. It's approximately 17% of Avaya's installed base. And Atif, you can probably help with this. I mean, sunsetting is probably not the right word, but we know that, Avaya is making very, very strategic decisions on the go forward of that product long term, as their business has evolved and changed. And we sort of see it as a really, really strong opportunity to help customers migrate to a cloud-based platform to kind of protect their investments as they exist today.
Tony, I would say that the biggest thing that our customers ask for is flexibility in subscription-based licensing model and less focus on the ownership of physical equipment and more the flexibility to scale and invest in their business requirements. To your point, these models allow them to focus on thinking of what their business needs are versus trying to allocate capital to keeping up with the physical pieces of it. So that allows them that flexibility to get an ROI on what they've invested in.
Yeah, and with the Avaya Ring Central sort of engagement, I mean, you know, they've already sort of said the IP office sort of becomes that piece that they're looking to sort of do away with, yet customers have pretty heavy investments in it. So, you know, we feel like it's a really great space to help engage those customers and help them solve for that in the future. And then, as we said, as we really scale up to our larger customers, larger call centers, larger environments, you know, it's really the Avaya Aura Cloud that really becomes our flagship product in those. And we have made very, very significant investments and deployments in that particular space. And again, just I'm not going to read for everybody that's on here, but you know, people that have made an investment with Avaya have a very strong preference to retain those tools when they move to the cloud. And we saw this as a great opportunity to work with customers that had heavy investments in a certain technology today, but wanted to change the way they were going to business or going to market or buying their services from the market, I guess I should actually say, and really just saw it as a great opportunity to help those customers with this evolution. So just to recap, we've been an Avaya strategic partner for over 30 years. We have deployed over 1 million Avaya endpoints. Again, I said this earlier, we were the first to market with an XCaaS solution from them in 2017. We've been awarded Cloud Partner of the Year in 17, Innovation Partner of the Year in 2019. We've deployed in the contact center environment on Oceania and Breeze now for many of the contact center. We talked about our number of techs to support before. And then I think, again, every one of these UCaaS or XCaaS, UCaaS, CCaaS solutions that we talk about, I think it's important to note that every one of them run on our backbone as a carrier, on our environment. There's a very richness in our offering that I think is very, very unique based upon the fact that we are both a facilities-based carrier. We operate networks like SD-WAN, et cetera, and yet we offer a very richness, so we can literally provide a holistic solution to a customer that helps them really, I guess I would say, strengthen their environment and create a much higher level of support and really a much higher level SLA associated with the offering. And with that, that is the presentation at a very, very high level. And I'm slightly below our time estimate. So would love to take any questions. Sue, I don't know if we have anything in the chat.
There was, and I think this went along with the last question, but it said, this was related to Mitel. It said, what if we go direct to Mitel? So I don't know if you need more context.
I would love to have a little more context on that particular question.
And Marino, if you want to unmute.
Yeah, I'm here. Marino Maronati. If you're partnering with Mitel, which I'm not a fan of, private company, they're very tricky, very marketing. I don't know the extreme of it, but I'm not very fan of it. I wonder, they supply you only for the hardware, therefore you use them, or if I go to them and I quote the same stuff, I can have a better price because you become a wholesale reseller of them? What is this relationship? I'm confused. Windstream was a fantastic company, saving money, and now we are a Mitel company almost. I don't understand.
I'm not sure. Again, I'm not 100% sure I understand the question. Mitel is one offering that we have in our suite from a UCaaS and portfolio. And again, today we're probably just really talking about UCaaS. And we continue to have the richness of all of our portfolio, but I think what we're able to do and where customers are seeing significant value is, and really, you know, I'll speak outside of even just UCaaS, is our ability to help them create operational models, not be living in a CapEx model, but be able to provide them network infrastructure, engage with them on their voice and their voice architecture, and then even, you know, everything from, you know, managing Wi-Fi to IP cameras to everything that might be in a portfolio that really oftentimes people have to then manage those remote site applications and, you know, historically work with them to deploy a holistic solution.
Yeah.
Then that, you know, we basically take over the operations for them.
Yeah, I admit that in certain things they can be top, but in most of them there are better competitors of Mitel that they can do a way better job in the SD-WAN or UCaaS business. I don't know why you are hugging a company that is not a top player.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had an awful lot of success just in companies that need to get off of that space and are looking for opportunities to move that to the cloud versus sitting in prem base. And they already have investments in, you know, the end hardware, and they want to continue to do that. And we've also seen a lot of success in the medium-sized contact center engagement because of what Mitel offers in the MyCollab suite.
It can be, but my experience is because yes, they have success because the people don't know what is around into the competition. If not, they will not have that success. But anyway, it is what it is, you know. I hope you guys, can you also talk about the Chapter 11? You're totally out, or, you know, because it's scary. I have a lot of clients with Windstream and they're leaving because they're scared of this situation. And, you know, if
I won't get into a whole lot of detail because that is not my expertise, but I will tell you as of right now, the projections are we will exit at the end of August.
Thank you.
Hey, Tony, there was one other question in chat. I think we have a minute or so left. It says, where does the Vaya Aura product fit? Size, application?
I'm going to turn that one right over to Atif. This is
Okay.
his background, his baby. He has lived Avaya for, what, 30 plus years, Atif?
That's right. So thank you. Just, I missed a little part of the question. Can you just pose that question for me again? I want to make sure that I'm precise in my answer.
Sure. It was, where does the Avaya Aura product fit? So size and application were the two things mentioned.
So Tony made a critical point at this, right? And our focus is a solution-based product. And what we've come to understand from our DNA of a premise-based environment is that we will either get a greenfield environment or a migration environment. So our Windstream strategic investments as being a carrier and then previously having access to data centers, we developed offers that cater to those. So now the specific answer to where does Aura scale and fit? In about 99% of our cases, Aura is a migration strategy, whether that is investments in CS1000, that is investments in the existing Aura platform. And those vary because one can be a contact center centric, very heavy on that, and a very small UC, for example, 500 UC and 500 call center. So our Aura product is really geared towards allowing the customer to have a flexibility to shed all the bad experiences of Avaya and gain from the technology that they truly crave, right? What we understand is when you're in the Avaya Aura market, you are invested in the intellectual capital that has been created into the system. the iron can be very easily bought and exchanged, but the logic, the call flows, the investments into how you got there. So therefore, Windstream places a very strategic focus on that product. I want to pause and make sure that I've provided you with an answer other than the obvious of number of seats or so on and so forth.
And we do have one last question. Pause for 1 second. All right, so the last question was, what flavor of Mitel does Windstream offer?
Our offering is built on the Mitel My Voice and My Contact. I think it's important to understand that we didn't just take their environment and virtualize it, right? We focus as a service provider on the areas where most of our customer demand from us. What they ask from us is a fully managed environment. So as Tony outlined, we've worked with them, we've taken the best of breeds of their application, virtualized them in our data centers, and then bought best of the breeds third-party applications that allow us to deliver our customers the experience that they're looking for, not necessarily focus on what app is running where and how do I manage that application, right? That's our focus. But it's My Voice and My Contact as the application running there.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate everyone's time. I realize we're at the bottom of the hour, so I don't want to overstay our welcome, but thank you all for joining this call. I'll be sending out information on the reemergence like you were asking about after this call, as well as a link to the recording. So tell your friends, be sure to ask any questions, to your channel manager, your CM manager, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.